Now let's turn our attention to West Africa, where the Sahel states are coming together to form an alliance. We're talking about three neighboring nations that have seen coups in recent years: Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger. Between them, these three countries have seen 5 coups since 2020. 5 coups in 3 years. And now the military is firmly in control in all of them. They've been supporting each other. The latest example is Niger. They saw a coup in July this year. The military junta took over, and it got support from Mali and Burkina Faso. They swore to send troops in case Niger was attacked. And who would attack Niger? The West African regional bloc called ECOWAS. It had threatened military intervention in the days following the coup. That was 2 months ago. There has been no intervention. Perhaps the backing of Mali and Burkina Faso was effective. So these 3 coup-hit countries have taken the next logical step. They have formalized their alliance.
Article 1er.
By the present charter, known as the Liptako-Gourma Charter, the contracting parties establish among themselves the Alliance of Sahel States. The contracting parties will work to prevent, manage and resolve any armed rebellion or other threat to the territorial integrity and sovereignty of each of the member countries of the alliance, giving priority to peaceful and diplomatic means, and if necessary to use force to deal with situations of breakdown of peace and stability.
The new security pact was signed in Mali's capital, Bamako, on Saturday. The alliance has 2 goals: mutual defense and counter-terrorism. Mutual defense against whom? Foreign intervention, whether by African powers or by other forces like France. In fact, France is a rallying point for all the coup countries. They were all French colonies, and they all have a strong anti-French sentiment. Their juntas have been engaging in anti-France rhetoric since they took charge. Before 2021, France had a military presence in all these 3 countries. Now it has troops only in Niger, in a military base outside the capital, Niamey, and they too have been asked to leave, the French troops. Almost every day, hundreds gather outside this French base. So far, these gatherings have been largely peaceful. The people keep asking the French troops to go home. But Paris refuses to budge. French President Emmanuel Macron has spoken about this. He said he will not deal with Niger's new rulers. And if things escalate, France would have a good excuse to intervene. So the new Sahel alliance gives Niger some security assurances. It gives France and ECOWAS something else to think about. But this grouping is not just about Niger. Its second objective is counter-terrorism. And this should help all the member countries, Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger. They face terror threats in their triple border area. The insurgency started in Mali in 2012. It began with a rebellion in the country's north. There was instability. Terrorists exploited it, and they thrived. Local offshoots of the Al-Qaeda and Islamic State set up base here. By 2015, their reach spread to the border regions of Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger. And for years, these countries have been fighting terrorists together. So far, they've done it with Western help. France and the US were involved, also a peacekeeping force of the United Nations. But with the coups, these equations have changed. The new military leaders are pitted against the West. They say Western powers are not doing enough to defeat the terrorists. In fact, it was one of the common justifications for the coups. So Western operations have been curtailed, and the result is this: terrorist activities have increased. And new players have joined the mix. Mercenaries from Russia's Wagner group. They've been fighting on behalf of Mali and Burkina Faso. And despite all of this, terror attacks have been on the rise. If this wasn't bad enough, there's a new rebellion in Mali's north. A deadly attack took place on a Malian riverboat earlier this month. 49 civilians and 15 soldiers were killed. Then rebels said they've captured a key town. Long story short, they're fighting a losing battle against insurgents. So now they've joined ranks and formed the Sahel Alliance. It will serve a military and political purpose, but the leaders say there's more to it.
Article 4.
Of course, everything starts with security. But the heads of state must also think about economic issues, how to bring the different countries closer together, and how to facilitate trade between our different populations. All these issues will be added to the charter in the coming days.
The alliance is clearly still work in progress. They're talking about an economic dimension. If it materializes, this group can replace ECOWAS for the coup-hit countries. It can become a new trade bloc in West Africa. It's a big if, though. By the looks of it, Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger are planning long-term, which makes you wonder, how long do the military leaders plan to stay in power? And are the people on board with severing ties with the rest of West Africa?